Hi, this is Jamie. This episode of Steal This Sideshow will be a bit different, mainly because I recently took off to Europe in a camper van, partly out of sheer boredom of living in the wastelands of Palo Alto, and partly with a view to making sure I remain European if Britain Brexits. This may or may not require becoming a resident of Portugal, but right now I'm heading south, away from a pointedly cold spring through Iberia, via mountains of cured ham and lakes of Rioja, to the southern coast, the winds of the Levant, and maybe on to Morocco, if I can, to make it to the Western Sahara, there to rest in a riad. But it all depends how far Google's Project Fi will take me. Presumably they're following me every step or wheel turn of the way, like when you turn on history on Google Maps and realize they, or their AIs, are brooding over a list of every place you've ever been, not just the occasional sorties into the wild, the ones that make North American friends and family tell you to be safe, but the tiny circuits between home, office, and in my case, a decent falafel-type restaurant near Facebook HQ where, if you were the eavesdropping type, you could definitely earwig on Facebook workers discussing, for example, what they thought of Donald Trump, or that dude who decided there were too many underqualified women at Google, or some new feature of the Facebook that is about to ship and probably should not. And this is an aside of an aside, but I'm fairly sure that Facebook and Google colluded somehow to stop that falafel spot from showing up on Google Maps when you search, say, for lunch places near me. Maybe because they could both agree that a leaky falafel place outing Silicon Valley secrets wasn't in the Valley cabal's best interest. So anyway, I'm somewhere near Porto Alegre, Portugal, and definitely shouldn't be dissing Google, since Project Fi is literally the only thing at $10 a gigabyte between me and not knowing anything about what's going on at all. But as you get further from the signal, as it wanes, if that's even possible anymore, you start feeling yourself detaching from the grid, just less and less convinced that what's going on is actually to be found on the internet at all, and that perhaps the state of perpetual connectedness actually functions to prevent you, that's me, from getting what's going on in any substantial way. Like, were I properly online right now instead of watching desert roses nodding on the wind, I will probably be telling you about how Russia Today splashed a piece on the US government counterterrorism center, accidentally releasing, quote, remote mind control documents. But without wasting the little bandwidth I have, I can tell you with a great degree of probability that these quote-unquote documents were invented out of whole cloth in some flat earther basement, and that the real story here is how outlets like RT practice a kind of gradual attrition on your common sense by bombarding you with articles like these, which they know damn well you don't have more than 45 seconds to check into before you get distracted by something else, while at the same time you have just enough of a vague sense that yes, of course, United States government would be involved in just that kind of impossible sounding Alex Jones level fuckery to make RT's splash potentially plausible. And that's how we go through life, filling up like dumb discs with a set of, at best, 45 seconds investigated, potentially plausible uncertainties, ranging from downright lies to actual truth that we'll never have the time to sort from each other. That's attrition, and what sifts to the top, what becomes truth, is whatever insisted on itself most enthusiastically, whatever won the frequency wars, whatever auto-completed reality. And that's it for this episode. Next time, maybe, a deeper dive into Peter Thiel's Palantir. Maybe how viruses from outer space are constantly interrupting our biology. Or maybe the story of how I almost bought the farm due to a faulty gas pipe, proving Europe is dangerous after all. All of these things, admittedly, could be untrue, though none of them are. But we all know you'll never have the time to prove it. Until next time, stay safe.